Holidays are supposed to be a time surrounded by love and family, right? Well, 19-year-old Rachel says her Christmas night ended with her alone in her room writing to me after her mother ruined yet another family celebration. She said in part, "Dr. Phil, you are my family's only hope. I'm scared for my mom. She's going to end up dead or in prison." By morning, Rachel was frantically calling 911 while her mother lay unconscious and unresponsive.
911.
I don't know what's going on.
What's your name?
I need an ambulance.
Where in the house is she in?
She is in the living room.
Is she coming around?
No, she's just laying there.
Well, Andrea was rushed to the ER where she was told that if she didn't put a stop to her reckless behavior immediately, she would be dead by the end of the year. So what's going on with this former preschool teacher and PTA mom who taught Sunday school and drove carpool to Rachel's school? Well, according to Rachel, her mother is a pill-popping alcoholic who ruined her childhood. And that carpool Andrea drove? Well, Rachel says that was just one example of how her mother was a downright embarrassment. Rachel claims she was forced to wrestle her mother's car keys from her in the school parking lot so she could drive herself and her friends home, and she didn't even have a license. Because Andrea was too drunk to drive, she had to do it. But there's more to this story, and Rachel and her family have no idea of what all is going on. Andrea confessed to us that she's been leading a whole secret life filled with serious crime, some of which could land her in prison. She says she needs to come clean to her family, and today she'll get that chance. But first, Rachel says her mother has done so much damage to her and her family, she really doesn't know if she can ever forgive her.
Now I'll start to feel better.
My mom is a pill addict and an alcoholic, and she spends just about every day drinking and taking pills.
I'm feeling really weak. I need to drink really bad.
My mom is often passed out on the sofa or in her bed. I have found her passed out on her bathroom floor with a box of wine sitting right next to her. One time I walked in and found my mom passed out on the toilet, not responsive. I fear every day that I'm gonna come home and find her dead. I don't wanna come home and just find wine boxes everywhere and have a drunk mom just stumbling around. My mom completely took my childhood away because of her drinking. When I was in 5th grade, she came to my school to visit me. We were in the lunchroom and she got up and started singing and dancing. That was really humiliating for me because I was known as the girl with the drunk mom. My mom would show up to pick me and our carpool friend up, and she would be drunk. There were times where I had to drive because I didn't want there to be an accident. I only had a learner's permit. My mom has managed to ruin every single birthday, holiday, and family event. My mom showed up to my brother's college graduation drunk.
911.
I don't know what's going on.
What's your
I need an
name?
ambulance.
My mom has been in the hospital 3 times because of her drinking.
Where in the house is she in?
She is in the living room.
Is she coming around?
No, she's just laying there.
One time my mom was really drunk and she fell and hit her head on a corner of a table. Another time she stole rubbing alcohol from my brother's house and drank that and was rushed to the hospital. The day after Christmas, my mom had a seizure due to alcohol withdrawals. I instantly thought that my mom was dying. Even after having a near-death experience, she still drinks. My mom still does not get it.
But the years of embarrassment don't stop there. Andrea's been arrested 3 times. Once for driving her car into her neighbor's front yard when she was, you guessed it, drunk.
I will sip on this until it's gone.
My mom's drinking is so out of control that she's been arrested several times. 3 of the times I actually witnessed it. One time my mom got arrested for a DUI in my own neighborhood.
I got in my car, I hit another car, and I hit 2 or 3 mailboxes before I was in the ditch.
I had people texting me what was going on with my mom. When we got there, she was in handcuffs.
The PTA mom goes to jail. Unbelievable.
Another time, she actually drank before she went to a probation meeting and they arrested her there. It's ridiculous. You're supposed to be at your best. Because my dad has cut her off, she's resorted to shoplifting and she's been arrested for that too. One time, my mom was caught shoplifting on camera and the police officers showed up at 3 in the morning to arrest her. When my neighborhood watches my mom walk out of her house in handcuffs, that's really embarrassing to me. I'm worried about you, Dad's worried about you, everyone's worried about you, and I just want it to stop.
I'm sorry.
But you always say that. Even after all the arrests and everything that she's put our family through, she just blames everyone else for her problems. Unless she gets help, I feel like our family would be much better off if my dad did divorce her.
Okay, Rachel, it's good to meet you. I'm sorry for the circumstance.
Yeah.
When was your first recollection that your family, your mother, this dynamic was different than the other kids in school?
Probably when I was in 5th grade and she showed up drunk to school and on my birthday and she was like dancing and singing in the cafeteria. I didn't want to be known as the girl with the drunk mom and it was really embarrassing to me. I feel like I don't have a mom anymore. I just feel like she's some lady that lives at the house and eats the food and watches our TV.
And when celebrations would come up, birthdays, Christmas, any kind of celebration where most kids were like wide-eyed and excited, you looked at those with dread because you knew this is just a train wreck coming.
Yes, sir. I knew she was going to be drunk. And if she did anything sneaky, I would go tell my dad and be like, can you go check her purse? I think that she snuck wine in. And my dad would check it, and sure enough, there'd be wine.
It broke my heart to read your letter to me because I realized that you wrote it on Christmas night.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read this for us.
Dr. Phil, my name is Rachel. I'm 19 years old. I would never have thought I would be writing to you, but at this point, you are my family's only hope. My mother is an alcoholic and a pill addict. We don't think she will stop. She's been arrested 3 times for DUI, shoplifting, probation violation. She picked me and my friends up from school while she was drunk. I had to pull her out of the bathtub because she was so messed up that she slipped under the water and was about to die. She threatened my brother with a knife when he tried to prevent her from driving drunk. She was drunk every birthday, holiday celebration. She was drunk for all school events, including high school graduations and college graduations. She was drunk on my brother's wedding day, and she's just out of control. She lies at AA meetings and will grab a chip and say she's been sober for a month, but in reality, she drank that morning. I'm scared for my mom. I'm scared she's going to end up dead or in prison. Please help my mom and our family.
Why write to me?
Because I figured you'd know how to help her, and I watched your show all the time, and I saw like all of the good outcomes that people have had, and I was like, wow, wouldn't that be so great if my mom could just be better?
We're going to take a break, and next, from visits to the ER and a 30-day stint in the county jail to being told she will die within the year, nothing has stopped her, nothing has slowed down Andrea's drinking. We're going to meet her after the break.
When I don't drink, I get sick. The day after Christmas, I had a seizure. I nearly bit my tongue off. It was almost split.
And later, one would think being locked up would have been a wake-up call for Andrea, but it wasn't.
I got this wine. I shoplifted it yesterday.
I didn't know that was going on still.
Oh, there's more.
Monday, a social media prank with deadly consequences.
I found him in his closet. He was so young, he was only 11.
The exclusive details.
So we heard this girl was going to kill herself in this prank, and then a friend said, oh my God, she did it.
The shocking interview.
It was intentional. The next day, she went to school as everything was normal.
You think this girl actually wanted your son to kill himself?
Then on Tuesday,
Kelly says for 12 years she was her father's sex slave wife.
where was her mother?
I'm done.
No, you're not done. Your daughter is here. Don't you walk out on her again.
That's Tuesday.
Because my mom doesn't have any money to buy alcohol, she has been stealing from people in our family. My mom won't admit it, but I know that she has stolen money from me. Because of that, I had to hide my money and jewelry, and I even had to save for it. This past Christmas, my dad gave my mom some money so that she could buy some Christmas presents. She spent all the money on alcohol. And no surprise, she did the same thing for my birthday. When my mom is confronted about these things, she hardly ever admits it. My mom fails to realize that everybody knows what's going on and we can all see through her lies. That's just sad.
Imagine being in the 5th grade and having your mother show up to your school birthday celebration sloshed, drunkenly singing and dancing in front of your entire lunchroom, leaving you forever known as the girl with the drunk mom. It's been 9 years since that humiliating event, and according to Rachel, her mother Andrea is still getting embarrassingly intoxicated, and she still feels the pain of that as though it happened yesterday. But now she desperately wants help because her mom is trying to hide all of this from her husband and her children and actually thinks she's succeeding. Take a look.
Drinking wine soothes me because there's constantly stuff going on in my head. This is where I usually hide my alcohol. I'm an alcoholic and a liar. I hide all of my drinking from my family, and I have become very sneaky. I would store my hidden alcohol in this cabinet or in this drawer. I would put it in the water bottles because it was clear. I've stolen from my husband. I stole from my in-laws, and I did the same thing from my own mother. I just threw up quite a bit because I haven't had any alcohol for a couple of days, and now I need it. The day after Christmas, I had a seizure from not drinking, and my daughter had to call 911.
911. I don't know what's going on. What's your name? An ambulance.
I nearly bit my tongue off. I chewed on it for a while. It was almost split.
I hate to say this because I love you, but you're a lot of the reason I don't like to come home anymore.
I know I've been a good mom. I think I'm a good grandmother. I was a PTA mom. I was everything. My family thinks I'm stupid. They think my drinking, it's a willpower thing. It stresses me out and it makes me want to drink.
So, are you an alcoholic?
Yes.
Are you addicted to pills?
I can be.
So, when did this all start?
Probably about 8 or 9 years ago.
Why? What was the trigger?
I had an argument with my husband one night, and he laughed at me and rolled over and went to sleep. And I still was just so upset. So I thought, you know what, a rum and Coke would be really good right now. I think I'll do that.
And so you got up and went and medicated yourself, essentially.
Yes.
Medicated your
I did.
feelings and emotions.
And I didn't know that's what I was doing. I just thought, oh boy, this is great. Why didn't I do this sooner?
Do you ever have any remorse for the things that you do when you're drunk?
Yes.
Like when you showed up at her birthday party at school and got up and started dancing and singing and making a fool of yourself in front of all of her friends, which resulted in her being the target of ridicule and gossip for the rest of that school year and ensuing years and damaged her self-esteem. Were you aware that that happened?
I wasn't aware that it went on for years, no.
How do you feel about the words, "I'm sorry"?
They're numb to me. I don't even like it when other people say it. They don't mean anything to me. I feel like if you're actually truly sorry, you should show that you're sorry. You should do it through action, not just say it.
If she truly cared its impact on you, she would do something about it.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
At that time, could you have done something about it? Or did you lose control really fast?
I lost control really fast.
So you're saying for 9 years you've had the inability to control yourself?
It started out like right here, and then my drinking got more and more and more and more, and then it started going down, you know, but I was really, really, really bad for a long time. Most of her little girlhood and all of her teenage years.
Did you pick her up in carpool drunk?
No.
You were messed up. There was times when I had to get you to move to the passenger seat so that I could drive.
Did you ride in that carpool sometimes?
Almost every time.
Was she impaired?
Every time.
And later, it's time for you to grow up, lady. Look me in the eye and say, I am so sick to death of this crap, or you get off of my stage.
This May, there are 1,000 reasons to watch
You shove a fish sandwich in your mother's mouth?
I threw a pizza at her, too.
America's #1 daytime talk show.
She's stealing, stripping, breaking into cars.
She told me she wouldn't do that.
Where did you think she was getting the money? You burned your wedding dress in front of your children.
You don't deserve to see your children right
You
now.
don't deserve to tell me what I deserve, period.
I have a crazy, obsessed stalker living in my home.
What gives you the right to go through her phone?
I got the answer that I needed.
Well, that doesn't make it okay. That's like, did you rob the bank? Yes, but I did get the money. Did you pick her up in carpool drunk?
No, I did not.
She did.
I wasn't drunk. I wasn't.
You were messed up. There was times when I had to get you to move to the passenger seat so that I could drive.
Yeah.
Because I did not want you driving, especially with my friend in the car. I wasn't about to let you get in a wreck and possibly kill all of us or someone else.
Did you show up for carpool?
I may have had a drink, and I didn't think I was drunk. That's right, yes. But now
So you
I
showed up
realize,
drinking?
Yes, I did have a drink. And I didn't realize that that meant that it was a problem.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous.
Are you drunk?
No.
How long has it been since you had a drink?
3 days.
Reagan was friends with Rachel in elementary school and says she was right there in that 5th grade cafeteria when these boozy antics were going on. Something she says the whole school talked about for a long, long time.
I have watched Rachel struggle with her mom's alcoholism for as long as I can remember. In 6th grade, I had my own birthday party that Rachel attended. When Rachel's mom dropped her off, her mom showed up intoxicated. I was in Rachel's carpool in high school. Every time Andrea came to pick us up, she was at some level of intoxication. Every single time I was at Rachel's house, Andrea was drunk. I've seen Andrea passed out drunk, begging for her car keys drunk, and screaming at her dad drunk. Rachel became really depressed in high school. I remember going to Rachel's sleepover birthday party. Andrea ruined the party, and Rachel had to take care of her because she was so wasted. I felt so bad for Rachel. There are so many nights that Rachel came and slept over at my house because she just couldn't deal with her mom any longer. Rachel has such a bright future ahead of her, but she won't accomplish her goals until her mom gets help because she is still worrying about her mom.
Well, Reagan is joining us today. She's in the audience. Reagan, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
You were there that day, and you've been there for a lot of this.
Yes.
Did you ride in that carpool sometimes?
Almost every time her mom came to pick us up, I was there.
Okay. Was she impaired?
Every time.
Did that worry you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't really know what was going on, but I could see Rachel just stressing out about it.
Did you see her have to wrestle the keys from her mother?
Yes.
There was times when Reagan wasn't with us, and like I tried to avoid the scene at school by trying to make her get out and everything, so I'd just get in the car with her if she didn't look too bad. And then I would just at the edge of my seat the entire drive, and I'd be like, Mom, you're about to hit that curve, you're swerving.
You've been arrested 3 times in front of Rachel, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were arrested for DUI.
Yes.
Because you say you don't drive impaired, but you mowed down the 3 neighbors' mailboxes and were arrested in the neighbor's yard.
Yes.
In your car. Were you impaired that day?
Yes.
Then the second time you were arrested for violation of probation because you were drunk at the probation meeting.
No, that's not true.
So the police are wrong.
I was not drunk at the probation meeting.
Okay.
They did a test, and they knew that I had had something to drink a couple days before the probation meeting.
And the third time was for shoplifting booze.
Yes.
It's a proud moment for you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Police come in and drag your mother out at 3 a.m.?
I know for a fact that people have seen her get arrested outside of her house because I've had people in my neighborhood text me and ask, what's going on with your mom? Why is she outside getting in a police car?
You've been to ER once, you were drunk, fell, hit your head on a table. Second time drinking rubbing alcohol.
Yes.
Then the third visit, day after Christmas, you had a seizure, nearly bit your tongue off. Passed out drunk on the couch in front of friends. Here you are on the bathroom floor. Have you said to her, bitch, you don't deserve anything nice in life?
No. I do not
told me-
remember saying that, and you didn't deserve that if I did say it.
You did say
Wasn't
that.
me.
You talked about, because you kept taking my clothes, and then we got in an argument and you had been drinking, and then you told me that I did not deserve all those nice things. But I had worked, I had a job, I worked and bought those things.
Did you threaten her brother with a knife because he was trying to stop you from driving drunk?
No. I might have had a knife in my hand.
Have I got the right... If I got the right family up here...
If I did, I don't remember. And that's the problem, is that I drank way too much to the point where I did things and I didn't remember. I baked a whole cake one time and I don't remember baking the cake.
So you're either sorry or don't remember. Pretty much catches everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay,
Alcohol
got it.
does everything.
All right, next we're going to meet the man who Andrea blames for starting all of this, her husband Wes. You heard her say right here, it's his fault. They had an argument. He rolled over, went to sleep, and she was upset. We'll meet him after the break. One would think being locked up would have been a wake-up call for Andrea, but it wasn't.
I got this wine. I shoplifted it yesterday.
I didn't know that was going on still.
Oh, there's more.
I could not believe that my mom got drunk at my own brother's wedding. While everybody was getting ready, my mom was already drunk and she was already causing problems. She was behaving like a mean drunk. She was arguing with my dad all morning. My mom insisted that she had not been drinking. My dad had a breathalyzer and tried to get her to use it. She got upset and smashed it on the ground. Everyone knew she was drunk. I know that my brother was really hurt. My mom is just a complete wreck.
From being handcuffed and thrown in the back of a squad car in front of her teenage daughter to being hospitalized for drinking rubbing alcohol after her son emptied the liquor cabinet. Wes says there is no low that his wife, Andrea, won't sink to in order to get intoxicated. He says that she feels more like another child or even a pet to him than a partner.
Dealing with Andrea is like patching a leaky dam. You fill one hole and it starts leaking somewhere else. Andrea's alcoholism has completely destroyed our family. Andrea has gotten lazy. She just doesn't contribute to our family financially or to our household and refuses to get a job because work would cut into her drinking time. Andrea lies to me every day about her drinking. I have found hundreds of bottles and boxes of wine and liquor bottles over the the years, and just last month I found 10 boxes of wine under our bed. I've come home before from work and she's passed out on the sofa. One time I walked in the bathroom and found her passed out underwater in the bathtub. So I pulled her out thinking that she was dead. As I was trying to figure out how to do CPR, she just opened her eyes. It scared me to death. Andrea's drinking has ruined us financially. My wife has totaled 2 cars and damaged another because of her drinking. She's cost our family over $100,000 because of lawyers, fines, doctors, and counseling. When my wife got her DUI, I had to use our house as collateral for her bond. My wife takes money from my children. As a result, my son went and bought a safe to put in his room. I had to open up a separate account to protect our finances. It makes me so angry that I have to protect myself from my own wife. We're all past being angry. We're numb at this point.
All right, Wes, glad to meet you. You said you've had to put the house up and stuff to bail her out. Why are you bailing her out?
Well, I had to do it to get her out of jail.
She kept calling him, and she would just cry to him and be like, I promise I'll get better if you come home, or if I come home. She'd keep telling him all these lies just to get him to come and get her, I guess.
Was she getting drunk and stealing from you and wrecking cars while she was in jail?
No.
Was she getting drunk and wrecking cars and stealing from you when she was out of jail?
Yes.
Well, let's get her out.
I know.
One of my fundamental rules is you just don't reward bad behavior. I mean, if your dog pees on the carpet, you don't give him a treat. If your child back talks you, you don't say, oh, great job. You know, if somebody drives drunk, you don't buy them a new car. They total a car, you don't go get them a new one. Say, here, try this one.
Right.
You don't reward bad behavior. One would think being locked up would have been a wake-up call for Andrea, but it wasn't. And she says she's been keeping this a secret from her family. We might as well get it out on the table right now.
I got this wine. I shoplifted it yesterday because I am so addicted to alcohol, and my husband tracks all my receipts. I shoplift. I got arrested the first time I did it. The police saw the camera and figured out who I was. I got handcuffed in front of my own daughter and went to jail for 30 days. While I was in jail, I learned to perfect my technique. When I go to shoplift, I put on makeup, fix my hair, and wear nice clothes. The key is to not look like I'm gonna shoplift. I learned to not spend too much time in the store. Don't linger. Get what I want and get out. Sometimes I would go to the freezer section and open the glass doors so that they fogged up, so that the cameras couldn't see me, because I had a relative that worked for a grocery store in loss prevention. I became aware of what they look for in shoplifters, and I learned to not draw attention to myself. I took advantage of that. That family member is very angry. My husband doesn't know. I still shoplift every time I shoplift. I think, oh God, please let this be the last time. But I just keep getting on the same merry-go-round. I can't get off.
I didn't know that was going on still.
Oh, there's more. Andrea says shoplifting alcohol multiple times a week isn't the only way she gets money to feed her addiction, so what else is she hiding? We'll find out after the break.
I learned about doing that in jail from my cellmate. She offered to pay me. I realized at that moment it was a way that I could get money for alcohol.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. A social media prank with deadly consequences.
He was so young, he was only 11.
You think this girl actually wanted your son to kill himself?
That's Monday.
Shoplifting is not the only thing Andrea has been hiding from her husband and children. she says having a bunkmate in jail who was a drug dealer had what she calls advantages.
To get money for alcohol, I have sold my prescription anti-anxiety medication. I learned about doing that in jail from my cellmate. She asked me when I got out that I give her some of my medication. She offered to pay me. I realized at that moment it was a way that I could get money. She wanted it. I had it. If she's willing to pay for it, I was going to give it to her. I would sell it for $10 a pill. I didn't realize that I was committing a crime, that it made me a drug dealer. I thought I was just helping out a friend. I figured out how to be very sly and keep things from my husband and family. I realized it was wrong, but I did not have to shoplift.
The price of poker just keeps going up, because I want you to take a look at the law here. Xanax is a Schedule IV drug. It's unlawful for any person to manufacture, deliver, distribute, dispense, administer, sell, or possess with intent to distribute any controlled substance. A controlled substance in Schedule IV shall be guilty of a felony, shall be punishable by imprisonment for not less than 1 year. Now, this is a Schedule IV drug, and she is delivering it, distributing it, and selling it for $10 a pill, wholesale, to a dealer that's selling it on the street. So she's in the drug chain here, helping out a friend.
She said she was taking it. She didn't say she was selling it. You know, and I just really thought I was helping her out.
You're dealing.
But I want to stop what I'm doing.
So why do you want to stop?
I want to be with my family for as long as I can. And I want to be... I want to be present. Wholehearted, 100% present at every function, and just in life, and not just be a warm body in a room.
You said to us you think you're a good grandmother. Is this your son, David?
Yes.
You think she's a good grandmother?
No.
Why not?
She's just out of control. I can't trust her around my kids.
Is there any way on God's earth you would allow her to supervise your children?
Absolutely not.
But you know she's in there. You know your mother is in here, because you're old enough, you do remember her as a good mother.
I do, yeah. Being the oldest, I remember how she used to be when she was just a normal mom, loving, caring, hardworking, trustworthy. So that's kind of been one of the more difficult things is just seeing this change happen and the way that it's negatively impacted my family.
So, you know, what do you do now? I mean, where does Andrea go from here? I don't see a lot of options. We'll be right back. Do y'all believe that this can end in death?
Yes.
I mean, not just a car crash death.
No, I mean, her liver will fail.
Yeah, and I want to be very clear about this, and so I'm going to add someone to the conversation here. Joining us now via the Doctor on Demand, it's a company that my son and I have started. Dr. Ian Tong, who is the Chief Medical Officer at Doctor on Demand, is with us right now. I've asked you to take a look at some of the labs and what's going on here with Andrea. What do you see when you look at the results here, and with regard to the liver?
With the lab results that we saw with Andrea was it became clear that there was an elevation in the liver enzymes that were really more than double the normal value. And when we see that happen, that is actually a pretty strong clue to a clinician or a doctor who's making an assessment to be able to say their relative risk of death within either a short period or a longer period of time. So I'll give you an example. With the labs that we saw, it did show that the ratio of those labs suggests that there is a hazardous habit of drinking alcohol and what's called an alcohol hepatitis. So that means inflammation of the cells of the liver. We can see that by that lab work. There are also, as I said, physical examination findings, and then the history being consistent. We could make a pretty accurate prediction about the risk that she would have of dying within the next year.
And Dr. Tong, let me ask you this final question just to be real clear for everybody. Death by liver failure is not an easy way to go, is it?
It's a very painful thing for a family, and actually for the caring physicians and for the patient. There are a number of things that can happen along the path. You can actually lose the ability to think clearly, so your cognitive function is decreased. You can suffer from GI bleeding, and patients are actually more likely to have infection as well. All of these medical conditions and risks are heightened when someone has problems with alcohol abuse that has damaged the liver.
Dr. Tong, thank you. Thank everybody for their research at Doctor On Demand. We'll talk to you soon.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Phil.
Look me in the eye and say, I am so sick to death of this crap, or you get off of my stage. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
Here's my concern. I always kind of categorize people into 4 stages of readiness. Stage 1 is compelled by authority to change. That's when I'm dealing with someone that's court ordered. Stage 2 is they're doing it to escape criticism. They're not court ordered, it's not law, but their family is on their ass. Stage 3, they intellectually get it, but their heart's not in it. And then stage 4 is when they are mentally, emotionally self-motivated to change. Stage 4 is when somebody actually can look me in the eye and say, I am so sick to death of this crap that I don't want it another second, of another minute, of another hour, of another day. That's when you will be ready to make a change. Now, you tell me you're there or you get off of my stage.
I am there.
It's time for you to grow up, lady. It's time for you to put up or shut up. Ben, come up here, will you? Ben, have a seat.
Okay.
How are you?
Great, thanks.
This is Ben Levinson. Ben is the founder of Origins Behavioral Healthcare. We work with Ben a lot, and I believe that they are the nation's leading dual diagnosis treatment center. I will do whatever it takes to create an environment around you programmed for success, not failure. I made up a little poster for you. You live in a small town. I would expect you to do this when you got out. Alert, do not do business with this woman. She is unsafe. She is me. Please do not serve or sell me alcoholic drinks or prescription drugs. Help me stay safe no matter what I say. Please monitor and accompany me at all times in your store. I am not to be trusted. If I appear impaired, please call this number. I do not want to hurt or victimize anyone. You live in a small town. I would want you to paper the town with these things. I don't do things conventionally. I set you up for success, not failure. So when I say I get on this end of the rope, you better be serious.
I am.
Because I am.
Yeah. We are too.
All right.
Thank you.
I want to thank all of my guests today, and a very special thanks to Ben Levinson and Origins Behavioral Health Care. I also want to thank Dr. Ian Tong, and if you at home want to have your own Doctor on Demand, you can go to Google Play Store or iTunes App Store and download the Doctor on Demand app, and it works just like you just saw. In a matter of seconds, you'll be face-to-face with the doctor just like we were here, and you can make appointments for a doctor-level psychologist and have your sessions right there from home. We're very proud of that. So thank you very much for being here. We'll see you next time.